Good, everybody. Thank you all for attending another manager meeting. Welcome to March. As always, I'm going to go over our agenda, our mission, values, and additional and HR updates that we may have for you. We have San Diego kind of talking through the manager mindset today, and then leave some time for some Q&A. Okay. As always, our mission is to be my favorite place. So here at Kitakata Ramen Banai, we are dedicated to crafting an unparalleled dining experience that transcends the ordinary. So our mission is to be or become every guest's favorite place, where they find not only the finest representation of the authentic Kitakata regional style ramen, but also an atmosphere of warmth, gracious hospitality, and genuine joy. As always, our values. We believe in providing legendary service. We believe that good enough isn't. We believe in honesty and trust. We believe in the ongoing training and the development of our people. We believe in our continued success depends on teamwork. We believe in doing business in a professional and orderly manner. We believe in being responsible to others and to ourselves. Okay. And the reason, right, why I tell you guys every single time the mission and values is we should also be kind of representing that during our pre-shift meetings and things like that, talking through what the value and the mission of the organization is. If you quickly just kind of ask your staff, hey, do you know what our mission is? And most of them are going to be like, no, I didn't even know we had a mission, right? So how do you kind of change that in terms of culture? How do you ensure that our staff knows what their mission is in this organization? Okay. I know I shared this last time with you all, but I kind of wanted to, showcase a little bit about as an interviewer, what are you kind of marking? What are you looking for, right? And some of the things is, of course, you'd want to score this after, right? So after you're done having the conversation, you can kind of think through and say, okay, this is what they answered. This is what I would kind of rate it as. And on here, I put like 1 to 2 or 4 and 5, but I actually want you to say, is this a 4 answer or is this a 5 answer, right? Were they exceptional, like I would hire them on the spot kind of answer, or is this, they're really good, but I would say it's a 4, right? Because you are quantifying their answers and you're quantifying the skills and the things that they bring to the table and ensuring that you are fair in the way that you calculate their recommendations. Okay. And then I did put this in the Google Drive just to make sure that you guys all know where it is. But a couple other things as well. Of course, I put the company history and a few of these other things. You don't have to read them verbatim, and I don't want you to read it verbatim, right? I want you to be able to bullet point some of these things. Like, what do you know about the history of the company? Bullet point some of those things that you want to share so that you're not only trying to of course, you're interviewing this employee or this candidate to ensure that they're the right fit for us. But I want you to think about we interview, right? I know I interview like 20 people just to find the perfect three, right? But during that time, I want to sell the company to them as well. I want to say, hey, this is our history, this is our company, right? And ultimately, what I want to happen is, hey, I remember interviewing with Mai, and she gave me the history, she was great, versus like, oh, she asked me like 2 questions, and that was pretty much it. Right. That is the reason why I want it to be universal, right? I want it to be even in the way that we do things, consistent, right? Is ensuring that not only are we trying to get good candidates for us, but we're also trying to sell our company to them, right? Making sure it's a good fit for them. And that when they go on and say, hey, I interviewed with Kitakata, they seemed great. I would recommend them to work, I would recommend you to work for them. So essentially that is what we were trying to do on the back end as well. Just ensuring that you guys have a good, consistent image as well when we interview candidates. Jason, did you have anything to add to that?
So just a little add-on to what Maya just said. These questions, they're really good questions, but you're not limited by what's in there. But these are kind of the categories we want you to evaluate people on. But you can ask similar questions. These are just kind of guide the type of questions you could ask. Or if you get stuck, it's like, oh, I need to ask a question about how good you are at something. Let me see I like this question, but I want to change the wording a little bit. You can do that. That's fine. But uh, be sure that, even if someone gets all high marks, if you feel like a bad vibe from them, take that into consideration too. So, if you feel like someone's off, maybe you don't hire them. But like, you have to. This is more of a, it's not a perfect score. It's basically a guide on how to better interview and screen out bad candidates and figure out which ones are good with you. And when you do the scoring guide, don't do it in front of them while you're interviewing them. You take the interview questions with you, but do the score after the interview is over and go off of what your lasting impression is of them after they've left, after you've said, thank you, we'll let you know. Take a few minutes and think back and go through the score sheet then when they're out after they've already left, and kind of okay. So there's section one. I remember what they said for this answer. It's like at the time I thought it was a five, but maybe it really was more like a three, and then you then decide what that score is then. But don't write it in the moment when you're talking to them. Just like think about what they said after they've left and after what's your lasting impression of their responses. So that's kind of the other thing. And like at the bottom it says recommendation, hire or reject. It doesn't mean you have to hire them. It's just this is a quick way to look at it. It's like I think they were a pretty good candidate, or I don't think it was a good candidate. That's all that's for. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So when you do actually find someone you like, obviously fill this out. HR is gonna want to see it when they input all their into their files and stuff. And other than that, it's a really good template. It might change in the future with like a couple questions to change here overall, but it's going to be kind of like this format where there's a scoring guide and a set of questions, and you can obviously, you're not limited to these questions alone. You can ask as many more if you want, and if you want to ask two or three from the same category, that's fine too. You can keep asking until until you feel you got a good sense of what their values are and for that particular category.
Just one last thing I want to add is for me, it's always about reducing risk and reducing liability, right? So if you're interviewing a candidate and you're like, hey, that answer was a red flag, they did what in the past, right? Those are some things that you need to be paying attention to so that we are not hiring anybody that has those kind of red flags, right? All right, moving along. I just kind of want to reiterate this cash tip reporting. So again, all cash tips are to be reported, nightly using our cash tip Google Drive link, right? So the main thing is we want to ensure that there is accuracy, right, when it comes to payroll and all of those things. So please make sure that you're following all those procedures, counting all your cash tips at the end of the night, triple checking, double counting, right, the amounts to confirm the accuracy. I know entering into the Google Drive is manual. Like you have to manually go in and enter it, right? So triple check the number you meant to enter is the number that's being entered, right? Verify all cash tips are fully accounted for prior to submission and particularly prior to payroll. And the reason I bring this up has been that there's been many errors in the past couple payrolls, just in terms of, someone entered the wrong number, someone miscounted, and that essentially causes a ripple effect of, hey, now we have to go back and make sure that so and so gets, deducted specific tips because we overcounted or undercounted, right? So that, again, results in payroll errors. It could be overpayment or underpayment for employees, and that again causes risk for us. And additionally, right, if someone gets terminated and we overpaid or underpaid because, a cash tip was reported incorrectly, that just causes delays and complications for us during employee terminations and just overall payroll, right? So, again, what processes do you currently have at the store to ensure that your location has cash tips entered correctly and accounted for and, reported correctly? So, if there is obviously an issue, please let us know right away, right? We don't want to wait till two payrolls later to figure out that there's an issue. So, report as soon as you find a discrepancy again, because we have to ensure with accounting that all the numbers match up, right? So anytime that there is an error, please let us know as soon as possible, okay? And then last thing for me is, we kind of talked about pre-shift meetings at the beginning of a while ago and utilizing Oishi as our pre-shift meeting guide. I don't know how consistent you have utilized it for your stores, but the main two things I wanted to ensure is one, that we're consistent in the message that we send across all of the staff, right? You can't tell someone Monday and then just not tell the rest of the staff on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? All those types of things. Because some people only work weekends. So to kind of ensure that, maybe you do one, before lunch, before dinner 7 days a week and kind of get that messaging for the whole week across the whole shift so everyone understands the messaging, right? And again, this is a guide, right? You utilize it how you wish, right? Again, I just kind of quickly threw this together, but what's going on in operations? What is changing informational safety, things like that. Utilize this as a guide for you to essentially communicate with your staff the things that are important at your specific store. And again, using Menshoku Mail as a guide for different topics. We put plenty of safety topics. We put plenty of other news within the organization on Menshoku Mail. So utilize those as guides for different things. Okay. I'm going to pass it over and mute myself so Mel can chat.
Hi guys, Melanie here. Um, uh, just wanted to go over some certificate training topics. Which should I? Sorry, technical difficulties, but essentially just want to go over some training topics with you guys. First and foremost, wanted to resurface the new hire training timelines that we sent out sometime in December last year, just in case you guys missed it or anything really, just so you guys can review it again. Um, but yep, just mainly resurfacing that. I mainly wanted to talk about like the reporting of trainings though. So with new hire trainings or just existing or tenured staff getting renewals on their certificates or just in general, just making sure to report them by the end of the pay period and within the pay period, ideally. Just also ensuring that employees are submitting their certificates as soon as they complete these trainings. And again, by end of pay period or within the pay period, just because a lot of times employees tend to upload them like a month or 2 months later. And by that point, when I review it in Paycom, sometimes I'll notice that maybe the training wasn't reported. So then I reach out to the managers and confirm, oh, is this done on the clock, off the clock? And in the cases that they were done on the clock but not reported, then we have to go ahead and process tip adjustments or calculations similar to like what Mai was talking about earlier. And those kind of tip adjustments and such, as she mentioned, kind of puts us at risk because we have to process those tip calculations and then it can cause delays for anyone if it was a terminated employee that was affected by that. So just wanted to reiterate and kind of go over that with you guys. But also, just making sure to log these trainings just to make sure that you don't miss any when you're reporting them at the end of the pay period or just throughout the pay period. Keeping a log of like, oh, so and so completed the training today. I'm going to write that down on my phone or even on a physical paper, whatever you prefer, just to make sure that you're able to log it and keep track of it that way. But yeah, so generally, the way that I catch these kind of trainings, whether they're done on or off the clock, is usually when I'm reviewing the certificates in Paycom, like I mentioned. So when I'm looking at them and then I kind of compare, um, based on the trainings that you guys have reported, I have to make sure that it was actually done on the clock, because at times employees will go and complete the training, off the clock and the managers will not know. And that's, I know, out of your guys' hands when that happens. Usually it's like new hires, but again, just kind of reiterating that to your employees, just making sure they remember to wait to do it on the clock. But yeah, I also wanted to go over the current statuses as of today in terms of like the certificates with pending actions or um, just in general. So like pending review, expiring soon, etc. Um, Basically anything aside from current means that they need action. So assign means they need to upload it or they need to complete the trainings. And then pending review, expiring soon, those are kind of self-explanatory. In terms of the pending review though, um, those are usually in cases where I'm kind of verifying if it was done on the clock or off the clock. And then with denied ones, those usually mean that the employee entered some information incorrectly. So if you wanted to follow up with them, um, you can do so just to make sure if they need help or anything like that. But yeah. Okay, and then safety updates. Wanted to go over a workers' comp scenario with you guys. So Ricky got an injury on February 1st, 2026. He went to the ER on the 2nd, the next day. Just making sure a manager needs to provide HR with a doctor's note as soon as the employee mentions any sort of like doctor's visit as such, especially when it's work-related injuries. Um, so essentially, just let us know and make sure that they submit a doctor's note of some sort, and then we'll basically review and essentially we have to clear them to go back to work, and that's only through HR. Only HR can basically make the review to um, basically clear them back to work. And then essentially the manager can then add them back onto the schedule. But again, just workers' comp cases do need to be opened or will need to be opened ASAP in those cases where they do seek medical attention outside of like on-site first aid. Um, but yeah, essentially, um, just making sure they know where the workplace injury steps flyer is in those cases where they do seek medical attention outside of the on-site first aid as mentioned. Just because the workplace injury flyer has all of our workers' comp carrier info and all of that such, that they might ask them when they're at the hospital or urgent care, whatever um, they're getting treated at. But yeah, essentially, just wanted to go over that and just friendly reminder, no matter how big or small the injury, please make sure that all employees are filling out the injury report form and submit it to HR as soon as possible. Um, and another note I wanted to go over is that sometimes injuries aren't always physically visible, such as like strains, cramps, etc. So if at any point an employee mentions a sort of pain or anything like that, just follow up with them, make sure that they're okay, and verify if it's work related or not. And yeah, just action accordingly. And yeah,
1 second. That's fine.
um,
Say one
oh,
thing.
you one sec, I wanted to.
So one thing on the injuries and stuff, obviously people are going to say that things hurt and stuff like that, and obviously we want to look after our people, but we, we're also not trying to take care of every little thing for people. So don't imply that it's always work related, because these are all things that would raise our insurance rates and our cost in general. So obviously, if someone says, "Hey, I've got like a shoulder pain," it's like, "Oh, don't like leaning into saying that's probably work related. You should do all this where and the company's going to take care of it all." It's like, okay, let's try and figure this out, like logically here, and like how much of it is it, it could be partially work related, it could be partially personally. I did something at home where I pulled my shoulder out. Maybe I did it while like lifting a heavy box or something at home, but it aggravated at work. But we have to not make I'm not trying to say like try to cheat your people out of a case for workers comp, but don't try to make every case a workers comp case. So be reasonable here, but we do have to make sure that we're like keeping track of things that come up that could blow up into something more serious. Because if and the reason we got to document this stuff is if things go sideways in the long run and they want to get litigious, we have to have a document trail that shows we did our part in addressing it as soon as something was said. Where they brought it to us, and then we can kind of address it and like kind of investigate it whether it was an issue work related. And if it's like a recurring issue, then we have to address how the job is being done. And there's other things that kind of falls into an OSHA topic, but we have to like make sure how they're doing the work is safe as well. But with the workers' comp, obviously we're not trying to escalate everything to workers' comp. If it can be handled with first aid, that's always the best solution. If it's we have what we call the telephone triage, and they'll help you determine how serious an injury is, and that doesn't trigger a workers' case comp if you call that number, which is always the best to do is um, if you have a case and you're not sure which, how severe it is, call the triage number. The nurse on the other side will kind of give you a walkthrough of what it is and how to handle it, and the steps from there will lead to what needs to happen next. And all that information is on the flyer, the workers' comp flyer that HR already has given everybody. And if you ever have questions, please contact us and we'll guide you back to that flyer and the steps that you have to go through.
Perfect. Thank you both. All right. I'm going to hand it over to Tony in San Diego to go over some of our manager mindset this month. Tony, take it away.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Tony. I'm from the San Diego store. Yeah, there's some managers I haven't met, but yeah, I'm from the Orange County and I'm now at San Diego. I've been with the company for 4 years. Um, yeah, these are like just two topics that I've been focusing with my staff at the store. Like mainly when it's busy. Um, yeah, so the first slide is like serving hot food. Yeah, I feel like whenever we go out to eat, one of the things we look for is like is the food hot? You know, that conveys like freshness. Um, yeah, and then sometimes when the kitchen staff is cooking like appetizers or it's busy, they may have like many appetizers sitting in the basket. But yeah, after 30 seconds to 1 minute, maybe the food's temperature is already decreasing. So yeah, just remind staff, oh, the food's been sitting there. You know, feel free to refry it to make it like very hot for the guests. And then that also includes when it's sent out to the expo, having the staff calling it out, order out, and then they deliver it to the table quickly. So yeah, if the customer's eating like gyoza, the fried chicken, oh yeah, the first bite it should be like that hot sensation. Oh, this is like freshly cooked. Um, yeah, for the appetizers, rice bowls, and ramen, yeah, we try to have them work with a sense of urgency, plate everything within like under 1 minute and serve quickly. Of course, there'll be times when it's busy, so yeah, maybe manager can step in, or we can call like another kitchen staff. Oh, can you help us plate these items really quick? And then yeah, maybe the chicken katsu. I noticed that sometimes the sauce is like lukewarm, so I just asked them to double check, make sure it's hot. Yeah, that includes the kids ramen too. We actually had maybe last week kids ramen that I know the edamame chicken and fries sometimes comes at different times. And then yeah, the kid told their parents, "Oh, it's cold." So yeah, we just remade it. We just reheated it for them. And then on to the next slide. Yeah, next slide is just like in the positive Yelp reviews across our restaurant. Yeah, hot food is one of the positive remarks. So yeah, I feel like we serve hot food. Yeah, there's a chance to guests might mention it in their Yelp review. And then in the next slide, yeah, this one's just about like the presentation. So sometimes when the worker staff or kitchen's working quickly, sometimes it's a little messy, and they might be want to just serve it to the customer right away because it's very busy in the restaurant. But yeah, just remind them, oh, please wipe the inside of the bowl. For example, like spicy miso, that one can get very dirty on the edge. So just a quick wipe on the edge there. Check outside the bowl, and then also with the food presentation is just like the correct amount of ingredients. So like sometimes they'll make like a tantan or spicy miso. It looks very big. So sometimes it's just like the pomchi. So just ask them, oh, try to measure it when you guys have time and then just have the accurate amount of ingredients. Same for like bamboo. Sometimes that one can be like easily over portion. And then if something's dirty or messy, we can ask expo like, oh, can you please wipe the gyoza plate or wipe this bowl, please? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Tony. I think Jason, you had a question.
Yeah, I was just curious when you said like I think on the first slide, can you go back just so I can
Mhm.
see the wording?
Oops.
Uh, where'd it go? Reminds staff to preheat appetizers if they're sitting out for too long. Um, what do you mean like sit like they're in the window for too long or like you just
Oh, like
where are
during the
they
busiest
sitting?
time, yeah, when there's like a lot of appetizers to plate, like all the timers went off simultaneously. Yeah, they're plating, but somebody's a fried chicken. They haven't gotten to plate it. So if it's sitting out for like longer than like if it's sitting out for like on the basket for like 2 minutes, like we shouldn't plate it. We should try to like reheat it before serving.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Sorry, thank you.
Yep.
Cool. Any other questions on this topic for Tony? Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
All right. And then real quick, I did just want to mention two big achievements that we had this year or this month. So we had one of our employees from Buena Park celebrate their 10-year anniversary with the company. Giselle and Sydney, thank you for taking those photos and presenting them with a cute little certificate and a little gift card. So that's super awesome to see that the 10-year, right, the longevity that employees have with our company means a lot. And then secondly, of course, Torrance team celebrating their 2-year anniversary of the store opening. So that is super awesome to see as well. I'll be featuring both of these in Mensyoku Mail. So please do recommend your staff to kind of look at Mensyoku Mail, right? Again, as they're featured in it, we want them to be able to kind of see these kind of things on the Mensyoku Mail, see themselves on there. And of course, we want to be able to kind of encourage other successes as well to be featured. Awesome. As always, you can always contact us if you have any other questions. And then I will pass it over to Yui to close this out. Yui, take it away. One second.
Hey guys,
Hello.
how are you doing, everyone? Let's see, let me show you my screen real quick. So yeah, thank you for your hard work for the month of February we just finished. And as Kazu reported in the live message that the February's number was really good. I think we are on a good path to beat the previous month. So let me show you the screen. I guess California, the weather kind of cooperated in the first half of February, but then you got like a summer heat. So then coming into March, it's kind of hot. So I just hope that the weather will cooperate still for the month. Hold on, why I can't share? Can you guys see this screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So this is number for the February. So as you can see, we see many greens, which we all like. We don't like to see any reds. So just going from the top, yeah, everybody except for the Tokyo Katsu Curry, we beat the last year's number by Fountain Valley a little bit, but up to Torrance 11%. So you guys did a great job for February. So I really appreciate for your efforts. And as I say every month, maybe you already know what I'm gonna say, but this results is not from your efforts for the month of February. It's coming from maybe like 2-3 months before. And of course, we talked about upping the sales by recommendation and like refills and stuff. So that's something we can do like from today. We can increase the average customer spend, but the number of customers it really kind of is based on their past experience or where they find it when they hear about us. So that just doesn't happen today. Most of the time, it's coming from their past experience. So that's why I'm saying this number is mostly from your past efforts. So so continuously, let's just continue, by looking at these numbers, I think your efforts are really paying off. So, I'm pretty sure each store, is in a good condition. And maybe, some managers may find some difficulties with staffs or some quality, issues. You can always talk to the area managers to, solve those issues, and they'll, definitely help you out. So please keep a good communication with the area managers. And also I really like how Tony and all the other past managers kind of did a presentation about their ideas, their best practices, so that I really want everyone to share good and bad so that we can improve. So number wise, this is February and March just begun, so it's only fifth day. So we will keep monitoring the numbers, but just at the end of the day, what it matters is if every single customers leave the restaurant satisfied or exceeding their expectations when they decide to come to us. So that's pretty much defines everything. And it's just simple words, but if we break it down, as Tony mentioned, of course, hot food is one of the major elements that really kind of grade how our food is. and also services and and like customers interaction recommendation. We just can't, we shouldn't be like a robot, because they like to talk. They want to be close to us, and so that they can feel like we are their favorite restaurant. So whatever you're doing is working right now. So please continue doing so. And also, let's just don't be satisfied with what we do right now. Let's just keep improving. Let's be the leader so that all your part-time team members will look up to you, and they keep motivated and they keep improving. Yeah. So that will create like a bigger vortex of all the powers and like smiles and energy. So let's work on that. And about the business development side of things, we just signed a lease for Glenview in Illinois, and we got a key. And Kunio's on top of it, and we've been doing some remodeling. It's minor because we purchased the existing ramen restaurant, so there's not many major things to do, but things are going well. So maybe our original opening day was May 1st, but I'm gonna have meeting with Kunio next week, and we'll see what he says. Maybe we might open a little bit sooner, but yeah, that will be our 10th Kitakata location, and with Curry that will be our 11th. And also Naperville, another location. We got the lease already, and then we submitted the building plan, and we got the first feedback from the village, and we'll probably fix some items, but yeah, it's on the way. So it will be like maybe another 5 6 month project. So maybe by the end of the summer, we have another one opening up, and also negotiating another lease in another one in Illinois. So once we get it, then that'll be another project for this year. And California, it's not forgotten. I just have to find good location. My main focus may be not in Orange County, but maybe in LA County and San Diego. And also, I'm planning to open a second location for Curry, and that'll be a big challenge for us because we want to test the new concept. And if that works, then we have another pillar of the concept that we can really develop from. So that's what I have in mind. But so far, we have a good really, we have a good momentum. So let's continue doing, what we believe is the right thing. Yeah. So thank you always for your, hard work and contribution. Thank you.
Okay, that's pretty much all I had on my end. Does any of the area managers, Daiso, do you have anything else that you wanted to add as well? And then I think Kodai has his hand up. I think that's your hand.
Okay,
Go ahead.
we'll switch to that in just a sec. One quick announcement. The office location will be changing probably in the next month. So the next time we have a manager meeting, it'll probably be from our new location. The actual office will be only about 2 miles from where we are, where we are at now. It's still in this area. It's going to be in the city of Irvine, just down the street from where we are currently. But yeah, you'll see. We'll tell you guys more about it once we actually get closer to moving in. But I heard that the lease is already signed. We're just waiting for the actual day we get the keys, and then we can start moving in. And that's a big development on our end. Kodak, I think Kodak had something he wanted to add. Yeah.
Hi. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So, hi. And first of all, thank you so much for doing the server evaluation sheet. But I think it's not complete yet, some locations. So please try to do that as soon as possible. お願いします. But thank you so much. Yeah, it was busy, but you guys did it. Thank you so much. And then one thing I want to share with you guys is okay, on the sub manual, I think number 4 and number 5 on the first page, it's a suggestion or recommendation for the customer, Misori ramen, seasonal ramen, or lunch combo, and also when you take orders, add one more topping or appetizers, those kind of thing is kind of it's always our weakness. I've seen all the location and everybody is good, but those to recommend customer, oh, miso ramen is good, mabo ramen is good, blah 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 blah. Those conversation sometimes I don't see that even a slow time. So let's focus on those things. It's a number 4 and number 5 on the first page, Saba Mania. So to please check that later. And so from now on, I want you guys to do more. So every time I go to the restaurant, I check those things. So let's please do that. And if the servers can do that too, it's very, very helpful for the managers too, because yeah, they know what to do. So basically they can do very good. But those things missing, but if they improve that, very good. No problem. More. But please, yeah, make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of servers can do that. It's really good for the customer and also good for the restaurant too. So let's try to be like that team. お願いします. And also the greeting, いらっしゃいませ and ありがとうございました. Thank you so much. It seems very, very yeah good right now than before. Yeah, but just please keep telling them, yeah, to be, yeah, staying like at this level or maybe more better. No, no more going down. So always, yeah, cheerful, like a good restaurant. ちょっとお願いします。はい。I'm sorry, I'm not using ChatGPT, so maybe my English, but I hope you guys understand. But thank you so much.
That's perfect. Thank you, Kodai. Our meeting might end in 2 minutes, but if anybody would like to stay afterwards if you have any questions or so I saw a hand, Kazu. Just in case
Yeah,
if it goes out, just make sure you log back in.
1 minute. Okay.
Minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. So from today, uh, Roland Heights location, we extend the business hour until 12:30 instead of the 9 p.m. So because the Roland Heights is located in the city that never sleeps, like Shinjuku, New York. So this is one of the challenge to increase the sales more. So then, of course, not only the Roland Heights, so all manager has everybody has like a city habit and the culture. So if you have any idea or good promotion, so please let Kunio, Koda, and me know. So then, of course, now is not perfect. So it means that we wanna change for the customer more good things and the good sales. So please try, yeah, all idea. So we are always welcome. That's all.
Perfect. Just in time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Like always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We appreciate you guys, all your hard work, and we'll see you in next month's.